Today is the 26th of May, and I wasn't going to do any videoing at all, but because plants are forever growing continuously, and in the summer months they grow very, very rapidly and very fast. So I was just watering the nursery. You can see everything is wet and damp. And while passing some of the trees, I just noticed that my great big Japanese black pine, this old favorite which I've owned since 1974 and which I've shown many times before, I did some candle pruning over the last 2 years, and I also did it in the spring. And I thought that if I didn't show you this and capture it at the right moment, the moment will be lost. So here we go. What I'm going to show you is the bud back and the bud development on this black pine. Many of these candles were removed when they first came out, but the subsidiary candles have started growing again. So if we look at this one, for instance, this one, I took out the candle from there and it's sent out a spurt of growth from here. So you can see now this one already it's got secondary growth. If I show you this, I'm going to take this bit off, but you can see already from there are 2 new buds already growing. Same with this. So I have to deal with all these by taking them off, simply cutting them off. And that's how I keep it tight and compact. There you again over here. Can you see the buds are coming from here and from here? So because the buds are coming from there, I can remove this quite safely. And so it goes on. Just to show you how the bud back is taking place. Now look at this old branch here. Can you see all these new buds that are appearing on the old wood? Because I'm self-videoing, it's hard to focus on it. Can you see these buds coming on the old wood? It's really old wood. So these buds have come just by dealing with the candles. Now this one is very long. This candle is very long. And because it's that long, I'm going to cut it off from there. If you can see my scissors, I'm going to cut it off from there. And I can cut it from there because back there are some buds here. So there's a bud there, so I don't need to worry. So that'll bud further back. And this is how I keep doing it all over, keep cutting it. Now look at this one. Look at this one, for instance. I took out the candle from there earlier on, and these subsidiary candles started growing. I can take even more off, take them all off, and hope it will force back the buds to grow from the old wood. If you look at this branch, which is really an old branch, you can see the buds coming from the old wood. Look at this one here. Let me show you with the scissors. See, that's the pointer. And you can see that bud growing from there. These are buds growing from old wood. So lots of new buds. So if I can just cut these off. And you can already see the buds growing from inside there. Can you see the buds there? That one? That's from old wood. And this is how the buds appear from the very old wood. Now this one again, I'm making the pad on this. So this is coming on quite nicely. If I can just home in on this one, I'm going to remove all these candles like this. And if I show you this particular branch further back, can you see on that old wood how all these buds are coming from the old wood? So this is how we develop the bud back on this old wood. So everywhere I look, you can see these young buds growing on the old wood. So this is how we deal with it. And I'm giving this tree a rest, so it's growing in this great big basket with a lot of volume of soil, and I'm feeding it quite heavily. So all I'm going to do now is to literally go through, take all the candles, continue to take the candles off, and it's going to encourage these buds to grow from further back in the wood. Black pine, of course, is a very vigorous tree, so they're easy to deal with. But you can do the same with the white pine as well. So I hope this little foray late in the evening has given you some insight how I continuously deal with the pine. I'm looking at something else now. See this one, if I can show you. See, this one is quite long. This twig is quite long here. But because there are buds here, I can cut it off there. It's not a candle, it's a candle from previous year. I can cut that off. And of course, there are buds in there. Can you see the bud there? So that will encourage those buds to form. Nice low buds. Although it's about 8 o'clock in the evening, with British summertime, it doesn't get dark till 10 o'clock. So I love working in this back greenhouse till late at night because there's so much to do. And when there's no one around, I really enjoy working here on my own. And this is the life I lead.